Hey folks, good to see you. So it's been 2 weeks since No Man's Sky has come out, and what an impressive and baffling couple of weeks it's been on all sides. And I sort of wanted to address that. I kind of want to echo DM21 and Cobra and just kind of get real with you for a moment. And I want to start off by saying that I feel you, okay? I understand why people are upset and frustrated and throwing insults and things like that. I get it. And you know what? I'm a little upset too, right? I'm a little upset too. And I think that for one, the extreme folks of us, we should act our age and give it time. And two, we should be able to express our opinion, even if it's heated, constructively, but pointed and maybe a little brutally honest, because I just did a review for the game right here, if you'd like to check that out. And I ended up giving the game a 4 out of 5. And my best friend asked me, why didn't you go with a 3? Because you spent a whole lot of time in that video kind of talking a lot of negative stuff, right? But I think the last few seconds of it in my summary sort of gives the reasoning for that. For 2 reasons. I didn't want to do the whole 0.5 scale, I wanted to give it a hard number. Hard numbers feel good to me. And the 1 to 10 scale is just absolute crap, and it's completely taken advantage of these days. Because if you look at your Uncharted's and whatever, and if somebody gives it an 8, the internet loses their collective shit because it's not perfect, and your fanboys lose it, and then the detractors are throwing fuel in the fire, and it just is what it is. And right now, No Man's Sky is currently sitting at about a 72 Metacritic, and if you don't think that's a good game, you need to realign what a good game is. Because here's the thing, I'm going to call you a hypocrite if you're going to call a 72 a not good game, because I guarantee you there is a 72 out there somewhere that you absolutely love yourself as a game, and you will get behind it if somebody attacks it. So don't give me that trash. For one, there is some controversy swelling around this game right now, and it's controversy that I can understand and I can get behind, because I'm a little upset too. But back to the review, I gave it a hard 4. I was leaning on a hard 3, but I changed my mind because the summary, again, I wrote that summary at the last minute when I landed on the 4, and I said that even if there's nothing to do, and if I can agree with that, why can't I put it down? Like, why am I having so much fun with it? And I looked at something like Minecraft, as simple and weird as that is, and I think I've wasted weekends on Minecraft, and Minecraft has just got tons of unbelievable support for like 6 years, and it's been fantastic. It's released on every console and every portable seemingly imaginable, and I like that idea for No Man's Sky, and that seems to be what they're hinting at for the future for No Man's Sky. So I can definitely enjoy that. So I landed on a hard 4 because of just how much pleasurable time I've had with it and how much I've enjoyed it. So with that, I want to get into the backlash, because there's some extremes here, right? Then you have your middle ground folks that are actually moving on with their life and playing games they like, or people are actually playing No Man's Sky. As a matter of fact, my viewership has sort of just kind of tanked a little because people have moved on or they're busy playing the game. And that was kind of the extremes that No Man's Sky kind of always has. I've always said that this game has a dichotomy of full positive or full negative, and the in-betweeners are either just enjoying that it's a game that exists, or they've moved on and they are appreciative of gaming in general, and they're not trying to spend more time on the internet bitching about games than they are playing them. So I respect that. But I'll look to Jim Sterling, for instance, and Jim Sterling, he was one of the first reviews, and while I think that was a little hasty, and I think he's always been down on survival games, so that just kind of, and you add in Jim Sterling's shtick on sort of how he approaches this industry and games anyway. He's very boisterous. He's very heavy into his opinion of AAA games and things like that, and more on that here in a moment. But people attacked him And there was nothing constructive about that. And again, people spent more time worrying about what Jim Sterling said about No Man's Sky than moving on with their life or enjoying No Man's Sky. So really, the big opinion is just shut up. Like, if you don't have a constructive way to deliver your opinion of somebody else's opinion, leave the internet, right? You don't need to be here. Nobody wants you here. But with that said, if you have something constructive to say, because I agree, right? The negative opinions that are coming out, they're actually valid. And some folks are really hating on Hello Games and Sean Murray right now. And you know what? There's some legitimacy there. And the problem is that there's so much missing context and there's so much conjecture that it's hard to say what the reasoning is for. So, is Sean Murray a liar? It's hard not to ask that question. A little hyperbolic maybe, because to me, I've always supported Hello Games and Sean Murray and No Man's Sky for how humble it all felt, right? He's always felt humble to me. And I will never go on record and say that Sean Murray has misled people with the concept of what No Man's Sky is. He's said it all along. He has said, this is what you do in the game. And people kept asking the dumb question, what do you do in the game? Well, I mean, here, do your research, Google it. I don't know. Watch some freaking videos. Ask somebody. Don't be deliberately daft when really it's a survival crafting exploration game. It's always been that. It's never not been that. And I always latched on to that. And I've created even seemingly somewhat hyperbolic videos about Hello Games and No Man's Sky and Sean Murray because I believed in that. And I still kind of do. So he's always said that there's always been this contractual obligation or this legal thing in the reasoning why he's never been able to release information. And as the reasoning that he never released that information, like the delay for the PC version or the delay with the PS2 or PS4 version, he's always been clear that there's been something holding him back. I'm going to challenge that, Sean, and here's why. Because you can't, in the same voice, brag about how indie you are and then be at the mercy of a publisher. To me, that's where that line is clearly drawn. You can't claim how indie you are and we're this tiny little indie team, and I respect how tiny you are, and that's another reason why I got behind and you resonated with me so much, is because you're a tiny team that did a big thing. And that, to me, even still now, is worthy of congratulations and praise, which I delivered and in which a lot of people have already delivered. Metacritic shows that as well. It's what you wanted. Here's the problem. Right now, and again, all the conjecture and all the Sean's a lie and all the hyperbole and things like that, we literally know nothing of what happened and why. And if you want to come out with the excuse, well, Sony won't let me say anything. Here's the thing. Okay, it's on Sony now, right? So now, if that's true, Sony, let's hear it. Hello Games, let's hear it. Sean, let's hear it. But here's the problem, is right now, one of the three of you are letting the fire burn. You are letting it continuously burn, and all this hyperbole and all this hate's flowing around for God knows why. People met each other on the same planet in the same spot the first day. You went on Twitter to celebrate what an achievement that was. But you didn't answer the question why they couldn't see each other, right? You still haven't addressed that, right? And we can come up with all the reasons we want to and post them to the internet, and the fire is going to burn, right? So here's the problem. You either say something and put the fire out and be honest, or Sony says it, or this thing is burning down and nobody's going to trust you again in the future when you come out with your next super mega project that blows minds and breaks barriers and whatever other things you want to call it. So that's got to be what has to happen. There has to be a statement. There has to be something that addresses why this whole thing is happening. Why No Man's Sky looks like marginally a different game and has missing features that were pretty promised that we don't have now, right? That's weird. And that's what's breaking the trust. And that's why people are pissed, because they want to know why this thing isn't there anymore that you promised us, whether indirectly or directly. You can be as vague as you want to, but people took that and they ran with it as you can see what each other looks like. Now, unless this is some Bruce Willis Sixth Sense, I see dead people shit, and you are meant to not actually have a physical presence, which is mind-blowing in itself, say that. If you had no intention to release a multiplayer type of interaction where one person can see each other until after launch, say that, right? Clarify, clear it up, say something, because I appreciate that you are fully focused on customer support right now, fixing the holistically broken PC version, which I did a video months ago asking for details on that. I can understand why you didn't. But even still, that was the message, is you got to please that crowd from day one, or Steam refunds and negative reviews on Steam later. The trust is broken from day one, and it's hard to come back from that, right? I can't sit here and listen to how indie you are when you're at the mercy of Sony to be gagged to address the people that are your indie fans, right? I won't accept that. I can't accept that. I'm not entitled, and they aren't entitled to it, but we damn well better get it, right? If you hope to have a future for No Man's Sky, and you hope to have a future where people can trust you, because here's the thing. I picked up a sword and a shield and defended you against internet haters that called you the new Molyneux from day one, and I still firmly believe that. Again, mixing contextuals and all the conjecture that's flying around, but you know what? It only takes once for people to cling on to that belief, and right now, you're kind of proving their point. So what we need is two things. How do we go forward right now, right? The perception that the internet has right now is that you and Hello Games are a liar, right? I think that's a little much, missing the context. But the perception is reality. That's the kind of industry we're in. And you know that. You've been in this industry for decades. Like, how long have you been doing this? And we have to have some substance. So going forward, like, I guess the question now is, how do we fix this, right? What do we do about this? So there's two things, to me, at least, that I think can get things back on track. At least as a gamer and a fan myself, you got to address the issue. For one, you got to put the fire out. And then two, I think most importantly is, you look at something like Rainbow Six Siege, for instance. When they came out with their sort of free-to-play character free maps but paid DLC / microtransaction system, they came out with a roadmap of what their seasons look like. When a Call of Duty comes out and there's a season pass, they sort of give you an idea, even if incrementally, what the next update looks like. And you kind of did that already, but give people an idea of what they, even just on a longer term, can expect No Man's Sky to look like. So the folks that have bought in can feel better about buying in, and the folks that haven't yet, because they're reluctant, because the situation right now, can say, it's going to be a damn good game when all this stuff is in it, right? So I think what the takeaways are from this is that, for one, internet, act your age, right? If you can't express something constructively, get out, right? And then secondly, valid criticism, you can't hide from that, right? Even if you're a developer and you just want to close your ears and la la la, the criticisms are there, right? So that doesn't go away. You have to make it go away. You have to address it. You have people that are fans, diehard fans of you, even such Joe Danger, and that's awesome. So keep that. And let's hope, because I love No Man's Sky, and I think it could be better. See you next time.